That's me being the horse. Today, we're diving into one of the most iconic and pleasurable sex positions. You know it, you love it, cowgirl. Yeehaw! Although this might be considered one of the more common sexual positions, I guarantee that most people are not experiencing this to its fullest potential. For the ladies watching, I'm gonna tell you how to take your guy to the rodeo with some advanced tips and tricks for both his pleasure and your own. And for the men watching, you're gonna get the inside scoop on what this position is like from a woman's perspective, how to make it even better, and where you can contribute most. Because it turns out that even though she's the one on top, there are many ways to make this a team effort. Now, before I dive into my 5 tips for advanced cowgirl, there are a couple things that I want to shout out about this position. First of all, it is amazing for the female orgasm. When a woman is in control of the pace, the pressure, the depth, the rhythm, it makes sense that she's more likely to get there. Not to mention that this is one of the best positions for clitoral stimulation. This position also happens to be one that many women tend to feel a little self-conscious in. I mean, I get it. Our society doesn't really teach us to be all uninhibited and just go after pleasure with abandon, right? So if you're someone who feels a little self-conscious at the thought of riding cowgirl, here is my message for you. I have worked with thousands of men, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that it is a turn on for the average man to get to see you get into it. It is a turn on when you let loose, when you lose yourself in the act of giving and receiving pleasure. Your man is not here to judge you, and if he is, you need to dump his ass yesterday. Because in reality, your dude is probably just feeling incredibly lucky to be able to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And as for the guys watching, if your partner is feeling a little self-conscious about riding cowgirl, then this is your chance to make her feel like a goddamn queen when she gets up there. I'm talking compliments, affirmations, moans, groans, anything to make her feel sexy. Trust me, you will both be seeing the benefits of making her feel like hot shit. Side note, anecdote, I did one time go to the Texas State Rodeo in Houston, and I did ride a mechanical bull, and I will tell you, I just now made the connection that the kind of affirmation that I needed from the crowd riding the mechanical bull is the same kind of affirmation that you should be giving to your girl as she is riding your metaphorical bull, which is tell her that she's got it, that she's riding like a rodeo champ, that she looks so hot on there, and then, you know, as in my case, if she lasts like 6 seconds before she gets bucked off, tell her that no harm, no foul. She could get right back on the horse and try again. Without further ado, here are my 5 tips for advanced cowgirl. Tip number 5, start slow. See, this time it wasn't communication, y'all. Start slow. There is no need to rush into cowgirl like it's some kind of a race. This is not the Kentucky Derby. Starting slow isn't just sexy, it's also practical in this instance. Ease him into you and feel free to linger and tease. Not only does this build up his anticipation, it also gets into the flow of things for you. So feel free to use your hand to guide him into you and linger as you take in just the tip. Tease him by hovering with just his tip inside of you and take your time before you fully lower yourself onto him. I mean, go even slower than you think you should go. No matter how eager he is, tell him you're in control. Once he's fully in, there is no need to rush into fast or intense movements. As women, we often feel like the men are the ones that are leading the pace of the sexual experience. We're often looking to them to set the pace. Being on top is your chance to take the reins and tease him while making sure that you get yours. Start gently and with the mindset of, I'm just exploring. As you are moving your body, settle into what feels good for you while also keeping an eye on his response. By starting slowly, you are able to get the lay of the land. What you like, what he likes, and eventually what drives you both wild. The best sex is a gradual buildup towards a big crescendo. Don't rush the process. Let things pick up their pace naturally in time. Tip number 4, switch up the motion. Once you've eased in and you've found your groove, feel free to explore different movements as you are riding him. In porn, we often see women bouncing up and down. And yes, this can be fun. It can also feel great for him if he's really into a pumping motion. But the reason that we see that in porn isn't because it's the best way to do it. It's because it's the most visual way that this can be done, meaning that you get to see the most genitals on camera. What actually feels best for most women in a non-recorded videotaped set is grinding, a grinding motion. By grinding into him, you are going to get the maximum amount of clitoral stimulation. Your vestibular bulbs on the outside of your inner labia right next to your vaginal opening, they're going to be responsive to that kind of pressure and stimulation. So try grinding back and forth, grinding side to side, grind in circles. Hell, switch it up and even do a little figure 8 action. Changing your movements will allow both of you to experience a vast array of sensations, and you will be able to check in and practice and experience what feels best. And remember, not every single motion or thing that you do needs to lead you to orgasm. You can trust that by moving in different ways and just exploring what feels good, you are building up towards having an orgasm. But you don't always have to take the most direct route. You don't have to take like the freeway to orgasm town. You can kind of meander through the burbs and check out the topiary and the scenic view along the way. A pro tip is to ask your man to tense up his pelvic muscles and tilt upward. This is going to create a firmer base for you to grind into. Not only does this increase clitoral stimulation, it also allows for deeper penetration. If you have one of those really soft and squishy mattresses, consider changing to a chair or the couch or something that's a little firmer underneath you. That can help with this. Now, if your dude cannot take this because he deals with premature ejaculation, go ahead and send him my Come When You Want course so that he can overcome that challenge and, come when you want. Now, time for my third tip, which is use hands for your pleasure. You want to bring your hands into the mix. This is one of the best parts about Cowgirl. Your hands, his hands, any hands, they can all be used to make this position that much more pleasurable for you both. If you want to take full control, you can rub your clitoris while you're on top of him. Not only does this feel incredible, it is also one hell of a view for him. And if you want a little help, then you could put him to work there. I mean, his hands aren't busy otherwise, right? So get him to place a thumb on your clit as you grind into him. This provides exact and intense clitoral stimulation and may just be the thing that takes you both over the edge. And listen, if hands aren't doing it, if they're not enough, you know that I am a big advocate for bringing toys into the bedroom. Using a vibrator while you're in this position has got to be one of the best and most pleasurable and empowering experiences that this body has got to offer. Which brings me to tip number 2, which is use your hands for his pleasure. Now, even though this is one of the top positions for female pleasure, let us not forget about the man who you are riding. If you want to shift gears into doing things his way, you can place his hands on your hips, on your ass, and get him to guide your movements. This way, he's in control of some of the sensation that y'all are both creating, while also getting to be your pillow prince for the evening. And when it comes to your hands, there is so much that you can do. Who says that women are the only ones deserving of a little hair pull, of a little nipple twist? So lean over, wrap your hand around the back of the base of his neck, give him a little squeeze, a little tug, use your mouth and your fingers to lick and suck and nibble on his nipples if he's into that. And don't forget, you could also be playing with your whole self. All the nipples are pretty accessible in this position. Brilliant. And one more tip for those who are into things a little spicier. Cowgirl is a pretty great position for a reach around. You can reach back and fondle his testicles while you're riding him. Just make sure that he's into it and that you have asked beforehand. And if your man likes a little backdoor action, Cowgirl is a great position for you to reach back and touch on his butthole, maybe insert a finger into it with consent, of course. You can lean back and keep it there while you ride him, making come hither motions, maybe getting all the way to his prostate, depending on how deep it is in his body. Front, back, visual finger, he will not know what hit him. All right, and number 1 tip for advanced cowgirl riding is know when to take a break. Know that it is okay and encouraged to take breaks. Cardio can be hard, okay? I may look in shape, but I suck at cardio, all right? If you are getting into Cowgirl, it can be a pretty tiring position. And if you feel like you need a breather, you don't have to abandon the position altogether. You can lift yourself up slightly. Just play with the tip inside of you. You can ask him to take on some of the work by thrusting in and out of you, by grabbing you and pulling you back and forth. Even though this is a position where the woman is in charge, it is a team position, just like all other positions. It's never fair to say that any sex position is entirely on one person or the other. Taking a break is going to allow you to get back into pleasure. It gives him a chance to take charge of the rhythm and create more pleasure for himself. And if you want to, give him a little direction, maybe boss him around a bit, who am I to stop you? And there you have it. My 5 tips for advanced cowgirl riding. To the men and women watching this, let me know what other things you have discovered that has made cowgirl epic for you. Put them in the comments. I love when you get in there and you share what is working for you in your bedroom. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, take a minute to take care of that while you are down there. I'm here every week with new videos on all things sex and relationships. I'm Caitlin B. Thank you for watching. I'll see you here next time. Bye.